Hello. In this video, you will learn how to configure LDAP authentication in ACDI. By default, after installation, you can log into ACDI using the local accounts you've defined during installation. Information about a user can be found in the user profile in the top right corner. To configure LDAP authentication, you need to do the following. Go to Administration, then Core Engine. And in LDAP Connections, you select the LDAP connection you will use for authentication. And enable authentication here using the switcher. The next step will be to go to LDAP Authentication Settings. On this page, you must define all attributes and scopes for the authentication operation. First of all, search the scope of the user you will use to authenticate. Then base containers, where you'll search users. Multiple options mean you will search inside either the user's ACDI or the user's data. The search scope is set to subcontainer. To define user roles and permissions, you need to use the default group membership option. Any other linkage between the user and the object that will have entitlements can be defined. In this case, you will use group membership. Right mapping attribute. By default, in eDirectory, the only right attribute for groups is description. Description is set as default. You always can create an auxiliary class, add a custom attribute to a group object, and set entitlements for a .cdi inside your custom attribute. Here, you will use description. Filter group names with regular expressions. This defines which groups you will need to search to define entitlements. Here you also see the additional LDAP filter. The authentication timeout is set in seconds. These are the attributes that will be used to search users. The default settings are CN and mail. Additional information will be received from LDAP and saved in session. When you modify this page, you will need to save the settings. And create a new user, or use a new one. Now groups that will be used for entitlements configuration must be created. Here is a new group. Let's add users you will use for LDAP authentication. In this case, the user will be Bob T. An important thing, you need at least one value in the description. Now add an empty JSON string as the description. Apply changes. Okay, now you can proceed to ACDI. By default, ACDI contains 3 roles: admins, read-onlys, and managers. Admins have access and permissions to create and edit all dashboards as well as reports. They can also access the time machine, manage submenus, and work with administration. Managers have access to all dashboards and reports and can edit and create them. They also have access to manage, but not to administration. Read-onlys can only read dashboards and reports and run them. Editing is not allowed for read-only users. Now let's assign entitlements and access to a group you created. In the top right corner, click the Manage User Accounts symbol. Enter a username. And click Get User Data. Here you see the user's attributes. And you see your group. Let's edit entitlements. Let's give this a manager role. Set access only to users' reports. When you change the report filter at the bottom of this window, you can see a list of reports and dashboards to which this user will have access. Okay, let's check everything. Save the settings and close the window. Now let's try to log in using the LDAP account you've just finished configuring. Okay, so you are logged in with your LDAP account. You can see some information about the user here. This user has the role Managers. And as you can see, has access to all menus, except Administration. This user, Bob T, can create and edit the dashboards and reports he has access to. Time Machine is also available for him. Let's change the role for this user to read-onlys. It was made in the backstage. Let's log out and log in again. This is to see that the role is changed to read-onlys. And only dashboards and report submenus are available for this user to access. Time Machine is gone from the menu and is unavailable because it contains data from snapshots which can be security sensitive. Also, Administration submenu is unavailable. All ACDI components to which this user has no access became disabled. And this user also won't have access to using direct endpoints. That's it, the LDAP authentication configuration in ACDI. Thank you for your attention and take care.